Alrighty. Hello, friends. It is your friend, CryptoFace. Mm. Cheers. Cheers. It has been, so far, for me, and I know for a lot of you, a great start to the month of October. Certainly better than September, for me at least. September was actually technically one of my worst performing months in the past 2 years. And so it's good to start this month off with a bang. And pretty much, streaming every single position and doing it together with you guys has been terrific. We've cleared about 1.2 million in 6 days, and so we cannot complain. Now, a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, a lot of hype. Laser eyes are starting to show up again. The laser eyes are showing up again, and the 100Ks and the yippee-yi-yo-ki-yays, and today, this evening, in this video, what I'd like to accomplish is giving a complete, unbiased breakdown of what I see on the charts. And before we start, I do want to make something clear. Overall, if I had to choose, absolutely, it would be awesome for us to just continue blast through to 100K by December and have a good time and keep the games a rolling, have the happy times, the laser eyes, and all that and the other. I know sometimes people call me a perma bear and whatnot or whatever, which I am not. What I am, what I do, we're night traders. Now, that doesn't mean we don't, have our hodl portfolios and whatnot, but what I do every day only is reflected upon what is happening that day, that action. Today, for example, I was not thinking about, are we going to 100K in December? I was not thinking, are we in a bear or a bull market? All I cared about was what was this pattern. Was when this formed, when this started forming, boom, went long right here, and yippee! Made a bunch of money, took it, and that's it. So, whatever I think might happen in the distant future or the near future or in the future, as far as like macro, if you're a believer in crypto, then you hold some, and I'm in crypto. I always have crypto. I'm always holding. But also, I'm always trading. And I'm always going to try to get that edge. So, with that being said, hell, if I with BitBoy, I even said when we made our $100,000 bet, I said, hell, man, it would be the happiest bet I've ever lost. Now, where do we start? Well, I guess since we're thinking everyone's talking about 100K in macro, we'll start with the monthly. Start there. So, looking at the monthly, what stands out to me first is this VWAP wave coming into the upside. It is inverted. Normally, we want to see outverted for more strength. But previous waves have been inverted. This one here, inverted. And the price went up just fine. Also, look at this. The momentum wave has currently a crossing green dot. The only similar momentum wave like it would be this one, where we went over this gray line, the 100 line, right here, came down, had a crossing on momentum upwards, and whoop. And I mean, this is back in 2013. And so that's bullish, I would say. That's leaning towards bullish from what I see here for sure. The dual band strength index is spitting out some numbers. A 16 bull against the weakest number, a -5 bear. These numbers change within the candles. So when you're looking at higher time frames on the dual band strength index, you can read into this number into the current candle, because it is changing. It's not just this, and then once the candle closes, it's done. This could change to an 18, an 11, a 12 right now, if the action permitted it. So monthly don't look bad in that sense. Overall, the RSIs are higher. And on lower time frames, we talk with the momentum waves, when we breach over the 60 line and have a momentum crossing, when we go over the 60 line, there normally isn't just one, there's two or more. And the price continues to go up or down in reverse. So some of you might be saying, but what about the three amigos? The three amigos are always in play, and we're going to get to that. I am just stating what I am seeing, and we have a lot more to go through. Let's go to the 2-week. And by the way, the three amigos have already been 50, when we measure from here to here, 55% correct. Okay, so the three amigos, if there's two people with 100 marbles split between them, one person has 55 marbles, the other person has 45. Which person has more marbles? The person with 55. Anyways, let's look at the 2-week. Nothing really new I'm seeing here. I haven't, nothing kind of standing out to me here. Besides this money flow is lower than before. The RSIs have sagged. So this would be on the bearish side. And so would this. The VWAP was outward curves coming in. But it looks like it's kind of lost a little strength for now. But look at this momentum wave. This momentum wave was looking like it was trying to curve in and got rejected. I don't really look at the 2 week that much. Let's go with the weekly. The weekly. Last week we had this red dot. Price action came down pretty good. And just the last day or two, there's been a fight. And this momentum is trying to go up now. So the question is this going to turn into a bigger wave? Or is this going to be a smaller wave? Nothing really new on the weekly that we haven't talked about before. Okay, now we're getting into some nitty gritty here. The 4-day. Alrighty. Now, 4-day. It's getting a little. It's getting a little. It starts to get a little juicy here on the 4-day. So first things first. Money flow. Coming straight down right at that 0 line. And we have a little spring. So we look at previous 4 days when we come down and have a little spring. Well, here was a spring. And then, you know, eventually came down a lot more. Bitcoin never does the exact same thing on this scale. There's always something different. You could look at it, you know, overall money flow is increasing overall. You have a baby turtle to a mama turtle. So, you know, this puppy could the beginning could be a new beginning of a new kick butt wave and yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. Or not even, or it's just a little wave and we still get to what 100K or whatever it is. The money flow doesn't have to return to this size for the price to go up. You know, it could just do this. Price comes up. And then everything hits the fan. We go to 20K. The RSIs were oversold. They are overbought. Have been overbought. And that is common sense in the grand scheme. Look at the price, look at the action. It is not surprising we are overbought, and we have been for some time. You know, we had that first sag. It's fighting. We had a sag. It fought previously before. It sagged, dipped, went to all-time highs before, you know. one. With the momentum here. Yeah. With the momentum, I guess that doesn't really matter. Never mind about what I was just gonna say. 3-day. Nice little trigger wave here. RSIs have changed to oversold. That doesn't mean we're necessarily out of the woods. These RSIs are higher at the start than these ones were. So it's got that going for it. Looking at the VWAP, this one, and this one. It's getting there, about to the same height. So, yeah. Now, we're getting to, I think that's what was probably, I guess you could say, one of my biggest concerns or hurdles, and that is this head and shoulders. In fact, let's switch to this. I'm going to go to normal candles. Off log. So you can draw a neckline at the close, candle close, or at the tips. Standard analysts would say, such as Gareth the God Soloway from InTheMoneyStocks.com mentions this, that come up to test the neckline extension, and this is a big one. This is a big one. So this 57,000, mid 57,000s. And there's a couple different ways it could be drawn. You could just do candle close, and that raises it. That would be 59,000. And now, I mean, we're pretty much at almost all-time high. But that doesn't mean that, oh, well, we're almost at all-time high, so it's not going to go down. Every single time, every cycle is something we've never seen before, in some fashion or the other. There are indicators, technicals, foundationals, fundamentals that are different in each cycle, each top, each bottom. And so, if you haven't gotten the point thus far in the video, if I didn't make it earlier, I've had to pause this video a couple times to handle some other things. But here's my thesis overall. At the end of the day, what we're talking about this far in the future, to me, in my thinking, doesn't matter. If you are a believer in crypto overall and Bitcoin overall, then you don't mind a drop, and you'll hold through it knowing in the future. But on a nightly, daily basis, let's say if I think this is the top, or 64K top forever, 120K top forever, that has nothing to do with how I'm trading today's action and how I trade inside. So everything I'm talking about, everything I'm showing, all these questions with no definitive answers that we all reach, weigh the importance. Does it, what does it really matter? Depending on your beliefs. So yeah, this it's gonna be thick. And we have not tested this line yet. Not yet. Choppy on the lower time frames as per on these hourly, mid-hour time frames. Oh, that reminds me. Man, I don't know if I mentioned earlier in the video, but withdraw your profits, or just make sure that if you are trading like we do, our community, whatever you have on that exchange that you're trading on, 99% of the time, you will trade with it. So keep that in mind. I withdrew about $1 million off mine, so I'm back down to like 2.3-ish on the exchange. And you don't want to be that guy that has great gains and has a kick-ass week or kick-ass month or kick-ass day, and then you're putting it all on the line and you find your account in a ditch. You don't want to do that and mess with your mentality. So yeah, all the shenanigans as far as the weekly, the month, whatever. This is the meat right here for me. This is what I'm really eyeing. And listen, we can come close to the top and go back down. If you go down to when we were technically hit 20K, and we came back up to 14K. That ain't that far away. Right here and right here. It ain't that far. And yeah, the percentage is going to be greater because the price is lower. But we can come up pretty close. Hell, we can come up right to it and it be over. Every single cycle, there's something new we've never seen before. Every time, there was a first time. Let's take a look at ETH. Alrighty. So we're gonna take a look at ETH, and then I'm gonna go over my closing statements. We'll start with the weekly. Got a little VWAP wave right here coming up on the weekly. That's good. Nice little trigger wave that Played out here. Momentum was crossing. Price came down. Pretty good. Pretty dang good. 34%. And now we see, just like Bitcoin, that green dot. VWAP coming up. The money flow looks like it's starting to obviously come down. There was a deep gash here, but momentum filled it up. Which is what you'd want to see for the price to continue up. Like here, boom, deep gash, empty, price comes down. So on this time frame, you know, we had a deep gash. Momentum came up to fill it a little bit. So that gives it some strength. And jeez, this is all-time highs for Ethereum. I guess it shouldn't be surprised since we've blown past 20K with Bitcoin for a long time. Going to the 4-day, picture starts to change. Money flow coming down. Still got a VWAP wave coming up here. Little momentum. It's low. RSI is a little saggy. Still overbought. Going to the 2-day. Money flows thin. Different than before. Unless it was something like over here. Here we had momentum coming up. Money flows coming down, and she came back. Came back from the sag. Went up pretty good. Have a sag. There's a little bit of hope there, but no definitive answers. But I'd say, you know, the Bulls like 2-1, 2-1. The daily, nothing really to see here. $12-hour has a nice little money flow curvature right here. RSI's coming up. You know, previous RSIs at these levels have runs. I mean, right here, I guess you could say kind of right here. Although this is kind of just like it didn't start. It didn't start. You know, the RSIs didn't start lows. Kind of just like a mid blip. Here we go. What about this one? Whoops. RSI is right here. That was a nice continuation. What about this one? RSI is right here. Continuation. That looks really good. So that this ETH 12-hour, those RSIs, and yeah, strong bull case right there. We can kind of, I guess, leave ETH alone at that. So, let's talk about what I think is going on, potentially and fundamentally, I think there's one big difference right now between now and the past. And that difference is who has been selling and who has not. The Chinese have not been selling lately like they have before. When I have spoken about 64K, 120K Bitcoin top forever, what I'm saying is that Bitcoin is basically used as a tool, as a weapon for manipulation, power. Same with George Soros. Soros doesn't play with currencies, crypto, or fiat to make money. He's said it himself 100 times. He don't need no more money. He is money. It's power moves. And I could see that maybe if there's an ETF approval for Bitcoin and everybody in their 401ks, the people, everyone has a little something in Bitcoin now. I don't think people understand how much vulnerability that opens them up to. Bitcoin seems really strong when it's strong. But in one day, it goes from you feel invincible. We go from having everyone has laser eyes on their Twitter. We're going to 100K. Nothing's stopping us. Just like it was up here. And that we're right there again. Laser Twitter eyes. We might as well be at 100K. Shit. It's only taken us 10 years to get to 50, basically where we're at now. What's another 50K? Taking us 10 years to get to where we are. So when I say those things, the reasoning behind it is fundamental in power moves. And those things are real. And it's hard to time. But when those guys decide to sell, no matter how much you think institutions or retail or whoever has bought, they've been holding that Bitcoin. The price is getting higher, and it takes more money to hold the price up, and they can't dump it down to wherever they want, as low as they want. They have enough. What about the Chinese banning? But they're not. You think they're just giving up their? You think the Bitcoin has disappeared? Business people move in migrate. Now they're in Kazakhstan. They still have their Bitcoin. So when people ask me, are the three amigos, the four horsemen of Bitcoin, still at play? Three amigos. Javier. Otra vez. Rodriguez. The second Rodriguez is a hidden amigo. And what I just discovered is that we have a peeping amigo. We have a lowrider amigo apparently right here that I drew and I forgot about a few weeks ago or something. This is Pepe. And we haven't really talked about Pepe, but he's chilling. He's lowrider. He's sleek. He's creeping. Now, again, thinking this far in the future, there's only so much energy and so much I think that should be put into it, because at the end of the day, what happens today happens today. What happens tomorrow happens tomorrow. And there's plenty of beef and fat to take off the bone in between. And that's where I put my energy. For the most part. So, next big hurdle, I think. The next big test. The next big resistance would be retesting the Head and Shoulders neckline extension. Whether it be at the tips of the candles, candle close, somewhere in here, and it's going to be close to our all-time high. There's a lot of bullish signs going for it. You know, probably more. There's probably more bull signs than bear. But just don't go taking out loans. You know, maxing credit cards with crypto, and everybody was positive we were going to 100K right up here with Twitter laser eyes, and I mean, hell, it's like we're already at 100,000. We were already at 100,000 right here, they thought. Right now, we're already at 100,000, they think. I mean, hell, why not 100,000 December? It's not like it's taken us 10 years to get to 50K, right?